Welcome back to this XCOM 2 Abridged commentary. Last time we met up with the other resistance factions, although one of their representatives, Mox, was captured by the Chosen. We then went to save some resistance civilians from alien attacks, and that went surprisingly well, although we did lose Otomo Sugutsura in the fight. Still, nothing too bad. With that sorted out, we used a covert action to find out where Mox had been taken, and now we're going to embark on a special mission to try and rescue him. Not that we particularly need to, but it's just something to do. Because this is a special infiltration type mission, we can only send a small team, so it's just 3 of us, Constantinus, Murderous Mike and Nariko, and all we need to do is get to Mox at the back of the map, pick him up and then extract him. We don't actually have to engage any enemies, and indeed it's ideal not to engage them, because what we can do is remain in concealment and walk around the edge of the map, just avoiding enemy patrols to get closer to Mox before we do anything. Handily we could see him through the wall, so I could see where to go, and indeed the enemy actually had no troops inside their own base, so we just walked in after we avoided the patrol outside, so that was a lot easier than I expected. Now that we're inside, we can use Murderous Mike's hacking skills to unlock the door to the cell. He can use his little robot to do it. The other characters can also hack, they're just not as good, and the advantage to using a specialist is that you can get these bonus things off the hack, or you're more likely to get them at least. And here we have the best one in my opinion, the one that lowers scanning time. This just makes everything faster on the world map, and it means you can achieve a lot more, and the game is made a lot easier if you can get a few of these in your playthrough, so I'm going to go for it. The problem is that by going for that, I didn't go for the one that allows me to open the door without triggering all the security protocols. So that means the aliens now know that something's going on and they're going to come and investigate. The security level jumps from 1 to 10, that's got to be a bad thing. And the game gives us an extraction point which is outside where all the enemies were hanging around, so that wasn't terribly useful right there. I thought though, surely we can just persuade them to pick us up from somewhere a bit better than that. You do have this cool Sky Ranger button, so I tried to put the extraction point just right outside the door that I was next to, and indeed that works, so that was useful. I thought maybe you had to go with the game's choice as a challenge, but you can just put it next to yourself. So with that, we send Nariko into the cell to pick up Mox, and she can now carry him right to the extraction point immediately, so that's handy. I probably could even have put the extraction point a tiny bit closer than I did there. Now on the way out, she actually does get spotted by a couple of Advent soldiers out at the front of the base, so now they're going to be aggroed onto us. Murderous Mike was in Overwatch at the time, and he's going to be able to cut one of them down as they run in front of the window, but this does present an issue because where the soldier ran to, he now outflanks Murderous Mike, and Mike's already acted this turn. Nariko's going to evac right now, just taking Mox away. I probably could have put Mox down to leave Nariko around for this turn so she could still fight, because we do need to fight for this turn. Due to the fact that Mike is outflanked, he's going to get shot as he just stands there. Luckily we do have Constantinus, who hasn't acted this turn, so he can move up into heavy cover and now put a grenade through the window to kill that soldier, so now Mike isn't immediately just going to get shot by that guy. The problem is of course that other troops are probably on the way because of that security alert thing, and indeed we actually see that there's a turret outside that can see Mike and it gets a hit on him. He doesn't die because he's ranked up. He can now take 2 shots rather than 1, so that's handy. More reinforcements are on the way, so this is a good time for us to leave. Now the turret went into Overwatch there. That means if I run for the extraction point, I'll be fired at. That's not technically a problem. I could just run with Constantinus, get shot, he'll survive, and then extract, because Overwatch only triggers once. However, I then had a moment of madness and decided to send Mike instead. The logic in my head was that sending someone with fewer hit points means there are fewer hit points on the line to be lost by the Overwatch shot. This makes no sense, and Mike dies from being shot by the turret, and I immediately realised I'd done something very stupid there. I could even have used his sit-rep conceal ability to actually become invisible for that turn and then just leave that way. But anyway, there's nothing we can do now. I am playing on Iron Man, so stupid mistakes like that do have to be taken, and it's just going to be my punishment and lesson for next time. Mike is left behind, our best troop after Constantinus. That is a terrible tragedy. We will take this picture, and vengeance, as it says, will be ours. Hopefully we will destroy every turret we see from now on, and hopefully I will be less stupid in my tactics in the future. It's a bit strange because the player character is supposed to be a legendary tactician who is the ultimate strategist or something, which is why the aliens are looking for you, but after they've seen me do that, maybe that'll take the heat off us for a bit. At least we got Mox back. Mox tells us where the skirmishers are on the map. You can go and hang out with them, and it helps you build things in your base if you do that, although we won't be doing that for now because we've got more business to attend to in North America. We learn about the Avatar project, which is something as far as we know. The aliens are up to something, and if they do it, we're probably going to die. This is in effect the game's time limit, although you can do things to actually reverse their progress and give yourself more time. Anyway, for now we've got a new mission to attend to because the Resistance want us to go and hack some computer somewhere, which probably has some useful information on it. We'll get some supplies for doing so, and while these missions are optional, you pretty much have to do them because otherwise you'll miss out on experience. So here we are in the area of operations. We started off near this house, and I just set the squad up generally in and on the house, and some aliens happened to walk up. So now I need to decide how I'm going to engage these guys to kick this battle off. OfficiallyDev's up on the roof, and he's going to start things off for us since he has a 100% chance to kill one of their stun lancers. Stun lancers are very dangerous enemies in the early game because they can actually dash and attack, so they can hit you from really far away with very high probability. So we do want to try and take them out as much as possible. So I shot one of them, that's a good start. Now the other Lancer and the Priest will step into action. We've got Constantinus though inside the house who spots the Priest. He opens up on him, but he actually can't kill him in this situation. I think if he got a critical hit it would have killed him. But if you deplete a Priest's health normally, it puts them into some kind of stasis, and then they sit under a shield for the rest of the turn, and next turn they'll come back and rejoin the fight just with 1 health. Anyway, we're going to get Pratal Hunter here to outflank the other stun trooper. He doesn't even have a 100% chance to hit there, but fortunately enough we do get the shot there, absolutely destroying that stun lancer and making us pretty safe, except for the fact that that Priest is going to come back into the action. Kajiro here could run up, I thought, and outflank where the Priest is, so we can definitely shoot him next turn. However, by doing so I actually triggered another set of enemies who were just off to the side here. It's never good to trigger enemies towards the end of your turn because you don't know what they're going to do. You can't go into Overwatch or try to protect yourself from them. In this case I just ran away with Kajiro. I thought putting some distance between him and those new enemies might save him from some nasty treatment. The Priest moves away from us and then uses stasis on Kajiro. They can force that shield thing around your own people, and that just means they can't move. Not such a big problem for Kajiro because he's off at the edge of the battlefield. He's unlikely to need to move right now, and we can get rid of the stasis after the end of the turn. Pratal Hunter moves up to grab some loot there, very nice, and now we just need to take down the Priest. He's currently outflanked by Constantinus, so I'm just going to shoot him, and that'll be the end of that. Although now we know there are more enemies aggroed onto us just outside of our view, so we need to set up ready for their arrival. Arakamani moves out of the house to go and support Kajiro. He was just hiding in the back somewhere, I think. Then OfficiallyDev decides to shoot the ground, and fortunately enough that actually damages an enemy. That's a sectoid who's on the way towards us right there. This sectoid is going to use the most annoying sectoid ability, and that is mind control, where it actually makes the enemy control your party members, which can be devastatingly difficult to come back from, as you might imagine, because your own party members are pretty good and you probably don't want to kill them to get rid of that threat. In this case we resisted the mind control, but then OfficiallyDev panicked and just tried to shoot the sectoid and missed, and unfortunately went down from his high position as well. Then one of those stun lancers appears and does exactly what I was fearing, just coming out of the fog of war and hitting you. Nothing you can do about that other than having everyone on Overwatch all the time. Unfortunately, since this is towards the end of the turn, we can't do that. And then Pratal Hunter is lucky. That shot definitely would have killed him, but it missed. So now it's our chance to fight back. The first thing I can do is to shoot a grenade in between the Advent Trooper and the sectoid there, because that will just about hit both of them, and it will also kill both of them. So that very quickly is going to even things out. Now we just need to deal with the Stern Lancer, and he's right next to us, so that's not going to be a huge issue. I can actually see him with some of my squad members over here, but he's in full cover from this perspective. Instead, I'm going to get Pratal Hunter to engage him, which wasn't a guaranteed thing because he's disorientated. Being attacked by a Stern Lancer debuffs you as well. Fortunately, he gets the hit, and now things are cleared up. With that sorted, we start moving towards the thing we're supposed to be hacking, but enemy reinforcements are on the way. The good news is that the game tells you that reinforcements are on the way, so I've just put the whole squad in Overwatch right next to where the reinforcements are dropping. Now the enemy will be in trouble. These troops will find their commanders have just thrown them into a meat grinder right here. We are going to be quite generous and let them conclude their various pointing and shouting before we attack, but once things get going, we'll have loads of free Overwatch shots. Pratal Hunter ices his Pratal Advent opponent, then it's going to be Arakamani who pops up from behind this thing to destroy their officer with a shotgun. Good news. Next it was time for Constantinus to make an attack. He does another of the classic through the ground shots on another trooper and brings him down, so immediately these reinforcements are being thinned out. Finally, we've got OfficiallyDevin who pulls out a pistol and destroys one more Advent soldier. So 4 of the 5 troops who reinforced have been immediately killed. That went pretty well, I think, on balance. So now it's getting to the point where we really need to hack this thing, because there is a time limit. The thing's just inside this building. We need to start moving quickly. In the spirit of that, I moved Arakamani up to be behind that Advent soldier, thinking I would just shoot him. But it turns out there were more enemies just outside the building. I actually expected the first couple of groups we killed to be everything, because this was an easy difficulty mission. But now we're going to have to fight these guys apparently, and they are going to be directly stopping us from making the hack. I noticed though there's an explosive barrel in the corner of this computer room for some reason, so we can shoot the barrel with Arakamani, and that actually kills a Stun Lancer on the other side of the wall, so that's pretty good since it's guaranteed to hit. Then Pratal Hunter gets us another guaranteed kill with a grenade, taking out the last of those Advent reinforcements with a danger close attack to Arakamani there. Constantinus moves up and he's got another grenade, this time for the sectoid, and while it won't kill the sectoid, what this will do is just remove cover, which is my favourite thing to do with grenades really, and that's probably why I've added the extra grenades to this mod. I really like doing things like that, where you get rid of cover, and then that'll give someone a chance to shoot the now exposed enemy before they can move. OfficiallyDevin brings down that sectoid, shooting through the wall, another skill shot from the main man. With that sorted, it was just that last Advent troop, and I noticed that Kajiro can actually get into a position that outflanks him. Does mean he can't use his rifle, but the revolver is powerful enough to kill Advent troopers in one shot. So there we go, through the window, the last enemy is down, and we've still got 2 more turns left to complete the hack and pick up loot and stuff like that. So this means the mission is a success, and everybody made it back alive, which is a very nice thing indeed. Pratal Hunter was wounded, but he'll be back in action soon. You can't keep him away from the Prals, and everybody leveled up as well, which is always nice to see. Next, I'm going to send a few team members off on a covert action to start locating the chosen assassin. You have to do this 3 times to unlock a mission that allows you to go and actually kill them in a special assault. But you have to have high-ranking operatives in order to actually do all 3 of those missions. This is just starting things off. We'll probably come back to that much later. For now, our primary mission is to actually make contact with New Mexico. This unlocks the blacksite mission, this thing here, which is the thing we're supposed to be doing in terms of the story. We've located some sort of secret alien base, which is something to do with their Avatar project and their mysterious doings on Earth, so we need to attack it and just find out what's going on. I waited for a while first because I wanted to research this magnetic weapons. This replaces your assault rifles and shotguns with superior versions that do much more damage. Unfortunately, you actually need some alien alloys to make the replacement, and I didn't realise I didn't have any, so I couldn't do this. However, because I am an extremely lucky person, what actually happened is the moment I started scanning on the world map, a mission popped up that allowed us to get some alloys, the supply raid. This is a case where some resistance operatives have blown up some Advent supply train and then have just left everything there for whatever reason, and you can go and pick it up, but there are now aliens there as well who are going to have to fight, but that's fine by us. We definitely need to do this. This will make the blacksite mission quite a lot easier if we get the supplies that we need. So we drop in a team. It's a nice alien landscape. Seems they've brought a few of their plants over to enjoy our planet. All we have to do for this mission is kill all the enemies. Sometimes there are supply raid missions where you have to find boxes and extract them, but in this case it's just kill the enemies and you get the supplies, so as simple as it can be. We moved up and put everyone into cover, and we can see a few aliens right in front of us, and they've got quite a lot of these faceless monsters due to a special battle condition, or sitrep as the game calls it. We've got Elena in a forward position because she's hidden from the enemy, and the enemy have to be really close to her to discover her, so she's good for scouting, and she tells us there are more enemies on the other side of this hut that's in front of us, so that's good to know. For now, I'm just planning my engagement with this initial set of 3 enemies. First, I'm going to use Elena to throw Claymore forwards, which, as we've seen before, allows her to remain hidden, and now I just need to get someone to shoot the Claymore OfficiallyDevs up to the task from the other side of the map. That doesn't actually kill anything, it just damages one faceless and almost kills a stun lancer, and now the fighting will begin. These guys will just run right towards us. The faceless are melee combatants, but because there's so much distance between us and them, that's not really going to be a challenge right now. We can use the rest of our turn to try and bring down all of the faceless. Here we've got Crotch, the hero from the Dungeon Maker. This is content, and he gets a nice shot on that faceless and brings it down. Very good to see. Next was Pratal Hunter. I wasn't sure what to do with him because one option is to fire a grenade at the stun lancer and guarantee that he's dead, but he can also do a fair bit of damage to this faceless and get it onto the verge of death, so I decided to go with that instead. The stun lancer is in manual grenade range, so we actually can just use Arakamani there to bring him down, so that's no problem. And now we're left with Elena's final action point, and I'm going to use that to shoot this faceless at point blank range. That's pretty much a guaranteed kill for us, so that's all well and good. However, Elena was revealed by making that shot, and that actually aggroed up the other group of enemies. I thought I would be safe from that in this scenario because we actually couldn't see them where Elena currently was. I thought they'd just moved away from us. But that of course was not the case. Now all these guys are just charging at us. That's pretty hefty, and just to add to that, the chosen assassin also decides to make an appearance, and now we have to fight her at the same time as these enemies. Things are getting a bit difficult. The worst thing of all is that all this is happening after a turn of combat, so we don't have the squad in Overwatch or anything. We're not ready to receive this attack, and Elena, out on her own, immediately gets attacked by the faceless. One of them criticals, taking her down to 1 health. Then the stun lancer advances, does his annoying thing, doing only 2 damage, but that's enough to kill her thanks to that critical from earlier, so that's pretty bad luck. And it's pretty bad overall because losing a Reaper is worse than losing a regular squad member. They can be replaced, but it's more difficult, and Reapers are particularly good to have, especially at high levels because of their sneaky skills. Pratal Hunter there shot a grenade that did 4 damage to each of those 3 faceless that were grouped together. That's pretty handy. Now the rest of the squad can capitalize on that by getting a 1-hit kill on each of them, so that's going to really thin the enemy out. So Crotch gets a kill, OfficiallyDevin pops out for a kill as well, then Arakamani at close range with his shotgun can get 1 more. So that's most of the enemy dealt with, and importantly it's the enemy who are particularly close to us dealt with. The faceless can't attack after doing a 2-action move. So you can see here they move towards us, then they use their next action point to move towards us as well, but now they're just here. They can't attack you, they're just standing close to your party, making them easy to hit. That stun lancer can attack us, but fortunately he misses. I've only seen that happen a couple of times, but yes, they can miss with that move. Now Arakamani can't miss with his chance for a bit of revenge. There we go. So now we just need to deal with that other faceless, and as I said, because it's so close to us, that means it's relatively easy to hit, so they're not too much of a threat at this point. First, Crotch takes a shot that damages it but doesn't kill it, but Pro Hunter is in position, the perfect position to hit, and while this class, the Grenadier, has low accuracy, at this range it's going to be pretty hard to miss, and there we go, he is down. With those enemies down, I now just waited around because I knew the Chosen was on the way. The camera here moves for a second to look at that pile of pallets and those rocks, so that tells us in effect that the Chosen is there. She's invisible normally, so if you miss that camera move, you are just screwed. Now we fire a grenade into the area that the camera moved to, and the fact you've done damage to the Chosen then reveals it. So there she is, and as a bonus, the grenade destroys the cover around her, so if she was in cover, she isn't now. That means we can get some high accuracy shots on her. First, OfficiallyDevin steps up and, being a boss, gets a critical, not quite enough to get the kill. She's on 1 health. I decided to do this in a badass fashion by getting Arakamani to run up and use his sword. This is an attack that very rarely has any utility because you risk just triggering enemy pods by doing it by running forwards, but in this case I did it anyway and it was badass, and we took the Chosen down. The Chosen are immortal, unfortunately, so you do have to do those special missions that I mentioned earlier to actually permanently kill them, but for now I think it means there are 2 or 3 missions or something like that where the Chosen can't attack you after you've killed them, to give you a bit of a break anyway. There were some more aliens. We moved up a bit and they ended up finding us. We had the squad in Overwatch as they found us, so this is the perfect way to encounter aliens. You get the chance for some free damage early on, although a lot of misses there, so not as much as it could have been. But yes, now we have to engage this final group of aliens. It's a load more faceless and another stun lancer. Since they're quite far away at this point, we're going to get lots of attacks before they really arrive into melee range. Crotch downs the nearest one to us there. Then I'm going to use Pro Hunter to fire a grenade into another group, damaging 2 of the faceless, damaging a stun lancer, but more importantly taking away that stun lancer's cover. And now that he's out of cover, he'll be in trouble. Arakamani downs another faceless, and now I wanted to go after that stun lancer just because I knew that he could attack me, but from where the faceless are now, they can't. So once the stun lancer's down, we'll be safe for another turn. OfficiallyDevin has a 98% shot, and he gets it. There we go. Now we can just sit back, and the faceless will walk towards us, thus increasing the accuracy of our attacks on them for the next turn, but they can't attack us since that's going to cost them 2 actions to get up to proximity. All we need to do then is take a turn to blast them away. That's no problem with our whole team just right there to shoot them with high accuracy shots, and the battle ends. So we did get the supplies that we needed and we took down that Chosen, but the victory is soured by the loss of our Reaper, which is very unfortunate indeed. I probably will try to get another one because they're so useful. And the good news is that among the loot we got, we indeed found alien alloys, exactly what I was looking for. That's going to allow us to get those upgrades. Although that said, it actually doesn't allow us to get all of them, because in order to upgrade the shotguns, you need to have 2 engineers, which we don't, so that's a shame. But we'll get the upgrade for the assault rifle and the sharpshooter pistol, making our squad actually quite a bit more effective, which will surely help us out in the blacksite mission, which we'll be attempting next.